Danielle Aquilina is with me, everyone. So, Danielle, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've sort of got Danielle on the spot, but we have had a bit of a chat about this. So, obviously, this is about the why. This is about passion, ambition, purpose, and all that kind of stuff. And you have a lot of that. I mean, we're going to be. Let's talk about it. So, for those that don't know you, Danielle, how would you introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and what you're about?
Absolutely. So, for everyone out there listening and watching, hi, I'm Danielle Aquilina, and I am a professional fun person. That's what I do professionally. And I get a lot of questions as to what exactly a fun person does. And
So, what exactly does a fun person do?
that's a great question. Anything that brings kind of joy and laughter and fun and engagement to any situation, really.
So, would you say that's sort of your why and your purpose, why you actually do what you do?
Oh, definitely. Like bringing joy is one of the things that brings me joy. So
That's amazing. That's a really good purpose and a really good motivating factor as to why you would do what you do. So you're very similar to me in a sense. You do run entertainment, you run shows. Tell us a bit about that and how you got into that.
absolutely. So I have been entertaining for over 15 years now, professionally for the last 10, I think. I've got a bachelor's degree in creative industries, which is a part arts degree, part business degree, with my major being theatre and stage, and my minor was graphic design and photography.
A few good credentials right there.
Yeah. So part of this degree was so when you become a fully fledged official artist, you can manage yourself with that artist income that you gather.
Yeah, so you're doing it like the smart way, I guess, and you have a bit more sense about you than just randomly doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's got to be some kind of structure or plan in place, but it still takes a lot of work and a lot of learning along the way.
Yeah, definitely. How long have you been in Darwin, can I ask?
So this is coming up to my third year in Darwin and my fourth year in the NT.
Right, and where were you before this?
So I did 12 months in Alice Springs before I came up to Darwin, but I'm originally from Cairns.
Great, there you go. So, your journey in Darwin, how's that been? Have you seen a lot of my guests on the show so far have told me that there's been this opportunity in Darwin that they just could not find anywhere else. Have you found that here in Darwin to be different to everywhere else?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason I moved to the NT was to work for a fabulous charity, and they were the reason that I moved to the NT. And as part of that, I got to travel all around to, I think, 40 plus remote communities to be able to see some incredible landscape. But then also in the art scene, everyone's so supportive and, so creative. So it's been incredible to have so many different opportunities here specifically in Darwin.
I've actually seen that this surge, like Fringe festivals, all that kind of thing happening, and there's just been this surge of interest from comedians to artists to dancers to performers to all this kind of stuff. I mean, you can see so many things, and there's such a unique atmosphere up here with events. Would you agree on that?
I definitely would agree. I was actually supposed to be part of the Darwin Fringe Festival the first year I was in Darwin, and then the second year. And the last 2 years unfortunately got cancelled due to COVID, but there was still such an incredible support for the Darwin Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
And there were still different ways to kind of get around the cancellations and find like little kind of off the beaten track ways to still be able to share the joy and laughter, especially with stand up, which is what I was doing for the Fringe Festival.
It's great. And you host, you're an MC, you do all that kind of thing. So you're
Sure
definitely
am.
not afraid to be on the mic. It wouldn't surprise me if you want to do your own show one day. But it's a funny story. I think we should tell people this of how we met. We met at two separate single nights. This is Valentine's Day 2 years ago, 2020.
Yeah, it was.
And Lost Ark in the city.
Was it Lost Ark?
Lost Ark. No, not Lost Ark.
No, it was
Deck Bar. Deck Bar. That's the one. And yeah, I was just rocking up there. And I met Danielle. I just said, look, can I sit next to you? And met her from there. So it was a great thing. And
We had a good old chat.
it was a good chat. And we then, I think it was a couple of days later, we then met up at the beachfront as well.
Oh, of course.
Remember the beachfront?
The big speed dating at the
Yep.
beachfront. Oh, my
And
goodness.
what happened here was it's a similar situation. We were both there for obviously the singles night, and there was a game. They were playing the Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I got chosen
yeah.
as the Bachelor, and Danielle got chosen as the Bachelorette.
In the two separate games.
In the two separate games, where I had to choose one of three ladies, and she had to choose one of three men, giving them the rose and going on a date. Very interesting.
I'd completely forgotten about that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so here we are again now talking on a podcast about the why. And it's just a small world, isn't it?
It really is. And you find that with Darwin. Well, I mean, I find that a lot with Darwin. Do you find that a lot with Darwin? Like,
Yeah.
it's so small.
It's a very connected community. Look, I've only had my adult life up here in Darwin, so I can't say what it was like down in other states. But I've met people that have come up here, even my recent guests, like Christo, for instance, and he just, the culture up here is different, and how people talk to each other, how things get out there. It's just unique somewhere. It's just unique. And this bombing of Darwin thing we did on the weekend's a good example of that as well. Everyone coming together for this iconic thing that happened 80 years ago now. A huge thing, and we're both fortunate to be a part of that. Let's tell everyone about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure you'd have more information about this considering it was filmed here in your studio.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, Danielle and I were a part of this as actors in the project. Shout out to Gareth Benson, basically bringing out characters from that era of when the bombing happened. So you have everyone from the postmaster, which was on the last episode. You would have heard Russell Smith and Betty Duke, which I believe you play.
I did, yeah. So you mentioned characters. I think it's it's a great time to specify that they were actually real life people. So yes, we were personifying them, but these were real stories, and they were so raw. I remember reading mine about Betty Duke and about her lover at the time, and then they were separated during this big evacuation of Darwin, and then I didn't read the end of the information that I was sent beforehand, and I was just like, oh my god, what happened? Turns out they actually reconnected and went on to marry each other for another 60 years or something. But I just, like, while I was recording it, I was like, I don't know what happens to her, and I need closure.
Those stories, look, they're just so unique to. You have to experience it, everyone. If you are listening or watching this, head down to the Esplanade in Darwin and pull out your phone. You can download a little app called Snick Snack, it's called, and you can actually go up, and it's a bit like Pokemon Go. If anyone's seen Pokemon Go, you have a map and you have different locations, and you can actually go to an experience and watch a real life person pop up and tell you their story as the actor. So
through AR, which is the augmented reality, which is a new medium that I have not experienced before before this opportunity, which is really, really exciting.
It's really cool, and it was a great it's such a pleasure and an honor to be a part of that project, for people to experience that. And thank you for all those that attended that ceremony last week. That was really good, especially that 101-year-old fella. He was he was in such good spirits, and everyone cheered him on. It was very emotional, actually, because he's like this 101-year-old guy. He's been through it all, and it was just really good. But that's actually led to some other projects that I've sort of hinted. Like I've suggested that the Greek Galenti could probably have some good stuff there of like the Greek heritage in Darwin, have some stories told by that. So I've thrown that out there as a little bit of a teaser, and I'm not afraid to share it on here as well, so it gets the word out that that's a really good idea.
That's exciting.
There's a few other experiences that can be used in that sort of in that medium. So augmented reality, folks, is great. So, yeah.
It's like, I guess, the next step to holograms,
Very close, very close. It's popping up and seeing a person, and we did one with Amy Johnson as well, which is a great thing. The story of the first woman to fly from the UK to Darwin in like a record time, and that's really cool. You see her actually a plane fly down and land, and then she pops up and does her little talk, which is pretty cool. So
that is very cool.
It's at the Aviation Museum if anyone wants to check that out. So So Danielle, comedy.
Yes.
Let's talk that. Let's talk
Sure.
how long have you been doing comedy, and what does it
Oof.
mean to you?
So I've been doing stand up for a little while. So I guess I first started doing stand up back in Cairns 6 or 7 years ago, which was a great supportive crowd over there as well. Shout out to Guilt Free Comedy, which is still happening over in Cairns. You guys absolutely rock. They were a fantastic, start for comedy for me. I had a bit of a rocky start, and I go on what I call my ha hiatus.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Basically, it's well, I mean, sometimes it can be 6 month periods for up to 2 times a year. Which just kind of sounds like I'm copping out of comedy for the year. But I do other things that are comedic that aren't just stand-up comedy. Like I do have, I am part of Top End Comedy up here in Darwin, which is awesome. And we've got an amazing crew up here. So you guys also rock.
Amy Harrington and all that,
Yeah,
yeah,
Amy Hetherington.
Hetherington,
Yeah.
again another name. Sorry, Amy, I apologise. Hopefully you got a laugh out of that, though. I'm a bit of a comedian myself.
But yeah, there's a huge crew
Yeah.
up here. There's about, I would even hazard to say 25 to 30 stand-up comics up here.
Wow.
That, kind of drop in and drop out, however they feel it, which is great because there's such freedom in when you want to perform. And I know that, like you always know that there is going to be a spot for you available if you want it.
Yeah.
But I also write theatre, and I'm a
Amazing.
playwright, so that's kind of where I find, I guess, a real richness in the comedy that I write. I write a lot of black comedies that talk about some really interesting topics, and it can be really hard to broach hard conversations to have. I'm writing one at the moment about mental health, and to sit in a theatre for 90 minutes listening to such an intense topic can be really hard. So I like to put in comedy into it to sort of break it up and make it more palatable, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I
an
guess
art
everyone
form.
has their own take on that, and you have your own, being the screenwriter. Oh, sorry, the
playwright.
Playwright, sorry. You sort of have to paint it in a way that people would understand, but also you want to sort of get your sort of thing across as well, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. We're just kind of making it engaging for everyone involved. It's not just those who are just like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's have you ever sat in a movie for 90 minutes and just gone, I don't want to be here? No matter what's happening on the screen, if you're not engaged in what it is that you're watching, then you tune out. So comedy is a great way to engage people into what it is that you're talking about.
oh yeah, I can think of a good example actually. I don't know if you've seen the new Spider-Man, No Way Home, but anyway, there's such good.
Spoilers.
I don't want to give out any spoilers. But what I will say is they've done the movie so well that you get both emotion, comedy, all in one hit from the characters that are in the movie, because they bring back a special thing for people that that hadn't had that in a while.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good in a movie to have that feeling of emotion, whether it be happiness or sadness. Or even a combination. It's just a great thing to do. And I think having that in a theatre or a play or a show or a movie is just a great thing to see. So well done for doing that. I actually run open mic myself, but my open mic generally is more musicians and singers and all those. So shout out to all you guys out in the Darwin music scene doing your thing. And do you think there's any, I know Rusty gets up and does a bit at Dolly's. Do you think there's a chance for comedians getting out there for open mic? I know open mic's like a free thing, you just get up there. Would you think it'd be a good platform, better question, for someone that has not done comedy before that wants to give it a go, that wants to step out?
Yeah, we definitely do have open mic comedy. As a part of Top End. Yeah, definitely.
Great.
In fact, G-Spot Comedy, which is run by Graham Lewis,
Excellent.
who is also an absolute bloody legend. Thank you, Graham. Actually, as a part of the G-Spot Comedy, which is held at the Landmark,
Great.
which is having its first birthday this week, which is
Wow.
super duper exciting. At the end of the night, there's a $50 prize for the best one-liner from the audience. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, don't get up, you don't get 5 minutes to come and practice, an impromptu stand-up open mic set, but you do get that chance to be like, oh, look, I don't have 5 minutes, but I've got a joke I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, the best joke from the audience wins themselves some nice cashola to take home as well. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
I really like that. That's my philosophy with next tier. It's always going to the next level and stepping out and going to the next level. I had a good chat with Russell about this actually on his podcast episode. He's in a bit of a different category. Obviously, he's an older guy, and he's comes from the perspective of like, it's never too late to start, sort of thing. You can show an old guy new tricks, or old lady as well. So, yeah, look, if you are interested, everyone, go check that out. I'm pretty sure this podcast will be out after that, so it's but definitely go check out the open mic. Would you say I was in again?
So there's open mics happening all over town as a part of Top End Comedy, but this particular one is G-Spot Comedy, which is out at the Landmark Gateway.
G-Spot Comedy. So check out, the Landmark's Facebook page. That would be a start. And also, I think, does Comedy NT have a Facebook page?
Yeah, Top End Comedy is what we are up here. And G-Spot Comedy has its own Facebook page as well. So, feel free to check that out.
There you go, everyone. So shout outs there, and get involved if you are into comedy, and maybe you'll meet Danielle at one of the events, and she'll be more than happy to say hi to you. I'm sure she's very approachable, everyone. Go say hi to her.
Yeah, you'll be able to recognize my face because it's on 4 active ad campaigns in the back of a bus at the moment. You'd be like, oh, that's who she is.
Is that the TIO one?
Yeah, there's a TIO one.
I've seen you in the TIO one. I used to work at TIO, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did they get her in the TIO?
Oh,
there you go.
So many.
Yeah. No, it's good fun. Any way to get your face out there, I think, is a good thing. I'm a strong believer of that. If it's good publicity, it's any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get a lot of people sending me like screenshots of the TV, being like, "Look who I just saw!" Like, somebody over in Queensland actually sent it to me, and I was just like, "Why do you have NT ads over in Queensland?" But they did.
Well.
So yeah, no, that was fantastic. But like, I'm also a big believer of getting your face out there wherever you can. My business cards have my face just like plastered on it at my website. The first thing you see
I've seen that.
is my
You've got a very marketable face, I got to say. Your face is very much a promo. Geez. It's just so good. So that's very strong in networking too. Like, people relate to, well, I like to call it an emotional connection. And when they see you, you do have this vibrance about you, from what I can see.
Thank you.
And it radiates off you so much. Like your smile, like right now, look at that smile. It radiates off you so much that it's contagious, and that connects with people, and people remember that smile or that laugh or whatever you did.
Yeah.
And that's what gets people remembering you and you go, oh, wow. And that's probably what causes people to actually, then message you and go, oh, I got a message Danielle this. I saw her.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the company that I run now is called Zesty Productions, and the name stems from zest being my top personality strength. So, having that bright, poppy vibrance, just, screaming sunshine yellow.
Yeah, very, very, what's the word? Extroverted.
Zesty is the
Zesty.
word.
Zesty is the word. There you go, everyone. Comedy, yeah, that's been great. I got to come to one of your comedy shows. I've been so caught up in my own things. As you all know by now, I do like many things, from esports and gaming to karaoke nights. So I'm sort of on the same sort of wavelength in the entertainment scene as well, and I do appreciate that. And I do like being around other people that do that kind of thing as an artist myself. Although I more go into the singing arts and that kind of thing. But you're a bit of a dancer. I remember this when our first conversation, Danielle, you told me this, and I was like, oh, we should Latin dance or something. I said something crazy like that.
So I used to do Latin and ballroom dancing back in Cairns, which was fantastic for, coordination and for someone who likes attention, which was great because I could, stand at the front, and once I'd learnt the steps, I could then help those behind me. Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it. I love sort of also helping and sharing knowledge with people that don't actually, because dance is one of those things, it's not like singing's good and singing's great. They're two different art forms, right? But I can't just be like, hey, do this when you sing.
Yeah.
It's very hard. With dance, you can actually, show someone and go, hey, I'll do this or do that, and share that knowledge and make them have the same experience.
Yeah, definitely. Or even just knowing that spaghetti dancing is always an option. I love spaghetti dancing. I did a lot of work with kids before. Yeah, what is spaghetti
Tell me
dancing?
what is this
Your
spaghetti
face.
dancing? I don't know.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like you loosen your body up and you dance like wet spaghetti.
All
And
right,
just
like
do,
that, everyone.
yeah,
That's
just like that.
what music do you listen to when you do that?
Oh, that's some pop punk
Oh, right.
dance move.
What music do you actually? That's actually a good question. What music are you into?
No, that is my kind of music.
Yeah, pop punk. Yeah.
Yeah, because I found out the other day, and I'm sure I've learnt this before somewhere in the history of brain knowledge that I have.
Yep.
That around your formative years, around 13 and 14, is when you kind of find your style of music, which is why, like later in life when you're almost 30, you kind of, you still want to be like regressing back to what you were, raging out to when you were 13 or 14. And that's because, in your brain, that's when your musical interests actually formulate in your brain. So like the people say that, around 13 and 14, you should kind of open up your musical knowledge to so many different platforms because that's what's going to stick in your brain.
Wow, that is very interesting. I look at music as a bit of a spiritual outlet. I know that sounds crazy, but I listen to music that's does stuff for me. Like it has an effect on me. It's really weird. I can't. So I listen to inspiring power metal. Now that sounds pretty crazy. If you listen to power metal, it's about fantasy. It's about it's sort of about my philosophy of next tier. It's about getting better and better, overcoming some demon or something.
Yeah.
But
The hero's journey.
the hero's journey, very heroic battle music, all that kind of stuff. It's like thrown into this thing. But yeah, and there's bands that we were talking about the other day, like Sabaton, which sing about war history events that happened, and really cool stuff. But I guess there's a reason that everyone listens to a lot of different things. But then I listen to, if I want to study or do something, I'll listen to some lo-fi sort of stuff. That's really cool. Some beats, some study beats.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
It's so fascinating that like you have that neurological connection with music and like with studying. Like I have given it and I have bought Spotify Premium, just so I can have like when I am studying or when I'm working from home, can have that kind of focused music in the background without every 30 seconds being interrupted by an ad, which I guess is the whole marketing strategy of Spotify.
Shout out to Spotify, which this is going out to.
So there you go.
We highly recommend getting Spotify for that reason. The ads can be a bit annoying. Same on YouTube. They pop up way too many times, I gotta say. But have you done any work on like any videos on YouTube or anything like that? Any platforms?
Oh, look, I tell you what. So as part of my comedy, I write comedic songs. Yeah.
Wow. Tell me more.
So I have Luke the Uke, which is my trusty ukulele. And when I was in Alice Springs is kind of when I learnt how to play the ukulele, and I started writing these ridiculous songs to put into my comedy sets because I was having trouble kind of remembering what what the set was, and I was like, I can remember songs, I can remember rhyming, so let's put that in there, which was awesome. But then I don't know, what was the question? I got lost in reminiscing.
Yeah, sorry. I do that always. Have you done anything on like YouTube, any platforms like that?
Yeah, that's right. So I actually recorded a few of those songs just from my my home setup that I had, which was really dodgy, and put them on YouTube. And I was like, because I thought I was going to start a channel, and I forgot about it until I had someone who Googled me the other day. They saw one of my posters around town for my show, and they Googled me, and they found my YouTube channel, which I haven't touched for 2.5 years. And I went, oh no, I forgot what was on there. And so I've had to have a look like back through there, and oh my God, I feel like I'm just, I should just tear it down because it's not good.
Well, I mean, I guess we all have a history of what we've done. I've got a YouTube channel that I cannot log on to delete.
Oh no.
It was the old NT Esports channel that I had for when my business was called NT Esports, and I had a channel, and they got like stream sessions with Scrub Phoenix, and there's me like in a little thing in the box in the corner of me streaming and talking to myself. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I can't delete it. I can't jump on and delete it.
Oh no! Well, you know they say once it's on the internet, it's out there forever. So.
It is. So yeah, if you want to check it out, folks, it's on there. Critique it as you will.
We're not going to be able to add comments to it because we can't log on.
Yeah, you can add comments still. I just won't be able to do anything.
No,
and
that's
take
what
them.
I mean. You won't be able to add the comments to it.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, let's talk about empowerment for women, because I think this is a really good subject, and it's great to see someone like yourself just sort of shining out there and being a great role model to women. Let's talk about your thoughts on this and what messages you would have for any women that are looking to do something. Doesn't have to be comedy, could be anything.
Yeah.
And some of the tips that you might have for them.
Absolutely. So it's, I guess, when it comes to empowerment, I like to empower as many people as I can, but specifically in fields that are predominantly male dominated, it is really hard for women to feel like they can break into it and do it. I know so many incredibly successful women who are just the most wonderful, wonderful humans as well. And I think that's something that's really important, is if you are finding that that's something that you want, like you said, whatever it is, whatever division you're wanting to be a part of, finding someone who you admire and who can, who you can look up to and mentor, who can come in and mentor you and, help support you is super, super important, because I have about 5 or 6 mentors who are at various different stages in their careers and in their lives.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating and so empowering. I guess that's the key word, to kind of share those stories and be able to share the struggles and find solutions together.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the first step. Finding something that brings you joy and passion. So for me, that's kind of sharing that and being able to help people find what it is that they're excited about, which I guess is, what you do as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can only speak as a man, because I've done it as a man. I have this whole thing whereas if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it anyway, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I'm going to help as many people as I can, inspiration, all that kind of thing. I like to think that what you do for others comes back on you tenfold, positive or negative. So, I think your reason why, and that's why I've got a podcast show called The Why, because it's about empowering others to sort of, if anyone listens to this podcast and listens to you saying these things, they can be empowered as well. So there's all that. But I know there is a difference between a guy doing it, a man, and a woman. So that's what I'm very curious about, how you did that.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, making my business what it was, I'm a sole trader, so I work as myself for myself. So I am the brand. Yes, I do have subcontractors underneath me who are also, very good friends of mine and, really supportive of what I do, and also very, very talented. So we kind of share in the success with each other as well. I think that's something that I know particularly the women in my life and the mentors and support that I have, especially creatives, do support everyone. And everyone's success is sort of celebrated, not necessarily shared, but it is shared, but it's kind of like we celebrate the success of everyone, and we share the stories and the journey and the support for it, because it can be really, really hard. I know as a woman in the arts industry, specifically in theatre, you'd think because acting and drama gets such a feminine link to it, but it is quite a male-dominated field, theatre. And ask any female actor how much she's making as opposed to a male, co-performer and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to talk money about that, but it is, it seems to be that men make all the decisions, not all decisions, big decisions, and especially when it comes to writing there are so many roles written for men and so few that are written for women. So
Yeah.
I know in my field and in my writing, what I do is I write specifically for women or for gender neutral characters. So not necessarily non-binary characters, because that's not my background, but I write for gender neutral characters that can be played by anyone.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to do it. I mean, shaking it up to, I guess you have that reason of doing it, and then you need to do something different in order for people to see it. I guess that's
Yeah.
you need to do that, and it takes a few strong-willed, highly passionate people to do that, and I highly respect that in that sense, because it's yeah, definitely something that we need to see more of, and that's why it's so inspiring. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And there's so many stories that need to be told. And, you know, just hearing it from so many different voices. That's why, going back to how supportive Darwin is for the arts, they have such a rich arts culture up here that they want to support regional artists. They want to support all sorts of voices from all streams of life, which is just so incredibly fantastic.
yeah, Darwin has a unique multiculturalism up here that cannot be seen anywhere else in Australia. I think a lot of people will agree with me. We're the most multicultural place in Australia up here, and with that presents multicultural opportunities, if you will. It'd just be great to see more of that. I think more people getting involved from all cultures and backgrounds, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, coming together to do arts and things together. I really like this together thing. Together we achieve sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be great.
Like, because it's when you take competition out of the equation, so much more is accessible, and you know, the options just kind of like open right up, because you're like, oh, I'm not competing with anyone. You
Yeah.
know, you can have a goal in mind and you can have something you want to achieve. That's fantastic. Having a plan,
Yeah.
having some idea of, you know, where you want to go, and then being able to bring those on board who can help collaborate and have that come together. Like, I used to think I had to do everything by myself, you know. Yes, I know how to promote myself. Yes, I know how to film this. Yes, I know how to write that. Yes, I can design myself a poster and, you know, flood the streets of Darwin with it. But it's that kind of the team dynamic that you bring together is where the success comes from. And then you've got that wonderful thing where you all get to celebrate together. You can all go and have some cake because, you know, you sold all the seats to the show that night.
Yeah.
You know? So go and have a drink at the bar and celebrate with some ice cream cake, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All wins should be celebrated. Yeah, we went out the other day for a few drinks after the Bombing of Darwin project. Gareth and I, we went out, came out to karaoke, believe it or not, but I had the night off. So I was able to sit back and watch one of my hosts run the show while I was just having a few drinks.
Part of your team.
Yeah, he is, and he was winning. He was getting a benefit from that. Shout out to all my hosts that do it. They do a great job of karaoke. And I'm actually going to be teaching them how to sing soon, which is great, and upskilling my crew to be a bit more, you know, they can sing. I'm not saying they can't.
Everyone can sing, especially karaoke.
Oh, yeah, karaoke is its own sort of thing. You get good singers. But not only that, but I think singing does help with even confidence as well as a host. I think it's a really good, that's why they say, Dave, why are you so confident as well? Been doing it for a while, and now that I'm professionally trained in terms of singing, I can actually, you sound better, you sound more confident, and people see that, and you have that radiant effect that I like, that you have quite well, and that bounces off people like a, yeah, don't know what, but it just bounces off them, and they absorb it, and they just feel good, and that is what makes a really good event, I feel, and that's why people stay at your event. That's why people come back again, because they want
your following.
You create the following and you create the experience. I find it's all about the experience, the feel good vibes. If they can feel good at your event, they're going to be back, or they're going to tell someone about you, and that's what you want.
Yeah, definitely. And what you mentioned about upskilling, so I found this year, due to COVID, so the Northern Territory finally got COVID, and
I shouldn't laugh about that. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, I had it, so you know I can laugh.
It's become pretty ironic though. What's going on with it? Well.
Or did you kind of like half have? You might have.
I had a false positive, and then I took the 7 days off because I didn't want to risk an event. So.
Fair. But so like for myself, and I'm sure for you as well, had a lot of gigs planned, but then, you know, we had to, put the safety of the community above that, which is very, very important.
Contingency went in place, did it?
Definitely.
Yep.
And having to postpone those kinds of things. So for me, the month kind of turned into, professional development and networking, and which is such a big thing. Like, I love talking to people, so I'm very grateful to be on here today talking to you. But I love talking to people and meeting new people and networking. So being able to find that as a skill that works for me has been super beneficial, especially in the past kind of the start to this year, because I went, okay, well, I can't do anything about the gigs that have been moved, but what I can do is utilize this time to really structure what it is that I'm pitching in the business, who I can go and meet, who I can connect with and sort of like interact with and learn these new skills as well. So I can, have another feather in the cap. I can come in and confidently be like, yes, I can provide you with this service, this service, this service. Yes. All of those services. I teach articulation as well. So that was a beautiful, beautiful blunder right there for me.
That's right. You use your hands, which is, I do that a lot. So people don't focus as much on that. They got all this to focus on.
But those of you who are listening on Spotify, all you've got is the vocals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we won't be able to see it. You can just picture us like Danielle and I just here waving our hands around and going crazy, smiling. And just picture that, everyone. I guess that's a really good message. I was just going to comment on that. That is a really good message for those that, I know COVID, next new case, we're getting hit by all these, how many cases there are in the NT, all right? Danielle's example right then is perfect of what you should be doing if you are in ISO or things have been set back. Obviously, there's negatives to that. You can't go out. You have to do the right thing and stay at home and play by the rules. But find a positive. Find something you can do that's within your control. There's courses online like Udemy. I highly recommend looking at Udemy. You can look up a course on how to DJ for like $30. It's really cool. And they usually have specials going on. So if you want to learn something, that's a good avenue for you. Or you can just, just do something you may not have had time to do. Like yourself, like you had that time to network more and do that kind of thing and learn new skills. Yeah. I think that's a really good message for people. Because we do get caught up in the negative and we don't look to what we can actually do and what's within our power.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even just with COVID. That's just, the current example that's super relatable. But, you will have downtime. You will have ups and downs in the journey in any kind of facet of your life. If you're looking creatively, you'll have times when you don't have inspiration.
Yeah.
If you're looking towards business, you'll have income and then you'll have times when it's a bit quiet. If you're sports and you're working out, you'll have days where you're just like, no, everything hurts and it's too much. I don't want to, So like you said, finding that silver lining, which is something that I pride myself on because it's something that I had to learn over the past 12 years, is trying to find the happy and find the joy. So, I mean, it's kind of ingrained in me now, but it is a skill that I've had to learn. So being able to be adaptive and, adapting in that way to what is happening. And I guess that's where having a support network and having, those mentors or those people that you look up to and trust, to even just brainstorm ideas with, being like, look, I have 2 weeks where I have nothing's on the calendar and I'm just, do I just sit at home with my cats, twiddling my thumbs, which is what I do. Or, it's like, well, no, you can actually utilize that time. And it might not seem like you're moving forward, but, whatever it is that you're implementing will help ultimately when you do, get back and you can start, putting those things in place.
Yeah, that's really great, Danielle. When I was first taught business back in 2006, I remember the year when I first got into business. I was actually in network marketing back then. That's how I got involved. A lot of different network marketings out there, but that's how I got involved, everyone, just so you know. But I learnt some key principles, and that is, well, to network, obviously, but to be teachable.
Yes.
To be not walking around going, oh, I know this, I know that, or I know better. And a lot of people don't realize until they have this aha moment. wow, geez, I didn't know that. Maybe I could have done that. But so similar advice on my end is just to be open-minded and just be open to learning new things. I mean, we're always going to be learning and getting better and going to the next tier, as I like to say in my businesses. But it's all about that. And Danielle is a great example of this.
Well, thank you.
Like putting you on the biggest pedestal. I should have put your chair a little bit higher there.
Oh, but
You wouldn't fit in the frame.
No, I know. I'm almost 6 foot tall, so it doesn't really work. But yeah, like I know, especially here in Darwin, part of the networking, I met a fabulous man, John McNewer, I think I pronounced it right. Hey, John, who runs Pathways NT and runs masterclasses every second Friday, I believe, which are just like full day PD sessions on some really fantastic skills that you can learn and implement not only in your business life, but in your personal life as well. Like the first one I did was time management. And I'm someone who procrastinates profusely. Oh. So there was like a whole section I was like, oh, that's very targeted.
That's essential for in business, I could tell you. I'm still working that out on a daily basis. That's something that, wow, I highly recommend that. I might check it out myself.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. And he's absolutely delightful as well. And he'll talk your head off.
Great. Conversation is good. Conversation is something that is needed more of. And that's another reason for this podcast. I get to talk with people that I haven't connected with. Like Danielle and I have been really busy, pursuing our dreams. But being able to sit down and talk to her has just been amazing. Have this one-on-one face conversation. Same with other guests as well. These other people, these interesting walks of life. Everyone's so busy nowadays. It seems like it's very hard just to even have a one-on-one conversation with people. And I feel you get a lot more out of that than just a text, right? How you going? Oh, I'm good. Busy. Work's busy. It seems to be the normal.
Yeah, definitely. Well, And I mean, and then once a year, Are You Okay Day comes around and you ask your friends, are you okay? And I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And I know that's something that you're very passionate about as well.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
So having face-to-face conversations is so important, even just for social growth.
Yeah, it's healthy. I think it's got a lot of power to it. Just sitting down with someone and just going, hey, how's things been? What are you doing? What are your goals? Getting people talking about what they want. Yeah. I mean, you could talk about yourself a bit, but throw it on them and just find out what because they might have just had it in their head. They might have just been like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh, they might be overthinking. So that's something I've actually read up a little bit about with my personal development on overthinking and how the limbic system works and all that kind of stuff. Really interesting. If you are suffering from things like anxiety and depression, and that is really good to have an understanding of it, I feel, to sort of know what your brain is actually doing when you do fall down these little spirals. It's just good to talk to people. And having that emotional connection with them as well, that you don't get that in a text message. And I actually find it makes it hard even on the dating scene, I've found, just from my experience. I've been single for a while now, and what I found that actually does work better, proven that I could say, is just walking up to someone and genuinely just saying hi.
Well, that's how we met.
That's a good example. I mean, we haven't dated, but that's just a good example of just talking. And you don't have to go in there with the expectation of like dating the person. Just no expectations. Just say hi and see if you get a connection. You might get a spark. You never know. But it won't happen unless you do that. You cannot expect to get a like on a Tinder or whatever the platforms are now. But
I think Tinder's still there.
Tinder is still there.
Yeah.
So even when you do, we're going on to a completely different subject.
This took a turn.
This took a way turn to here, but let's just talk about this for a second. But dating,
it's all human connection.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what people want, I think. And I think it's hard right now because everyone, like, we're a bit locked down. Like, there's masks now. I can't even see a smile.
Yeah.
Like, how do I even know if they like me? I have to look at their eyes and look at that little eye smile they do.
Which is so important, though. Oh my gosh! Like, I was entertaining children for the past couple of years, and part of that, when the mask came in place, was having to do that. And do you know how hard it is to entertain a child pulling a face when they can't see half your face?
Yeah.
Oh, for someone who like clowns with their face, I was like, I've lost my power, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that. I can only see your eyes just doing those ones. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that, everyone? But I think you'd still be able to pull it off because you
Oh
have
no, we did.
your shoulders go up, your hand, like you have this
Yeah.
this vibrance. The vibrance
Yeah.
is there still.
But there is definitely something about that, seeing the whole face collectively as well.
Yeah.
To be able to have that human connection, which is so important.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's a really good one, everyone. If you're out there, yeah.
I mean,
and it doesn't have to be dating.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, but even if you are locked down at home, having a video chat with someone, or a Zoom or a Teams meeting, or whatever platform it is that you're using.
Yeah.
I mean, I love talking on the phone to my mum. I call her every couple of days.
yeah.
But I also, when I get home, I'll also jump on like a video chat with her as well,
Yeah.
and just be like, I just want to see your face, and also here's
Yeah.
my cats,
Yeah, you got to show those cats off. I mean, yeah. And who wouldn't want to see your smile? I mean, it's just so contagious. So, yeah, look, I 100% agree with that. There's definitely a strong power to that, to the human connection. I use my hands a lot. That's how I get my message across, my emphasis whenever I'm at an event. And you probably do this as well when you're hosting.
Yeah.
You emphasize things. Like if you
Yeah.
want people to like know about something, go, I know, you do something.
Yeah, well, because then also like if you've got your microphone in your hand as well, so you've
Yep.
only got one hand you can like gesture with as well. So,
Yep.
there's so much you can communicate with that
Absolutely.
isn't that is beyond just using your voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danielle, I think we've come to an end of the podcast.
Amazing.
There's so much more we could talk about. We'll have to get you on
Absolutely.
again one day. It'd be great to have you, part 2.
I'd love that.
And thank you for joining us. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap things up?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I'm always down to talk, so I've definitely got a part 2
Yeah.
in me.
Reach for those that want to reach out to Danielle. I believe she is on Facebook and socials, and she has a proper a page on Facebook to get in contact with her.
Yeah.
Danielle Aquilina.
Yes, Danielle Aquilina is my artist page. Zesty Productions is my company page, and I've also got a website which is zestyproductions.com.au. You can
There you go.
reach me there as well. Send me an email.
Check it out, everyone. But this has been The Wire with DMoore with Danielle Aquilina. See you next time, everyone. Peace out.
See ya.